Yo, okay, week 6 of your internship is starting tomorrow. Today, I've not got, a tip per se for you, but I just want to say, look, you've passed the halfway mark of your internship. Hopefully you've had your mid-internship review and hopefully everything was okay. Hopefully you've got some development points that you know you're going to be working on improving over the next 4 or so weeks. Make sure you make a plan, make sure you make SMART objectives. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So make sure you set SMART goals for achieving or outdoing your development points between now and the end of your internship. Things that you should be working on and focusing on are continuing. It's the same stuff week in, week out. Continuing doing your catch-ups with people in your team, outside of your team, across the division. Continue working on desk work, so doing work for people in your team, making sure you are trying to work with different people in your team so that you get exposure to the different people in your team, because at the end of the day, they're all going to have a say when it comes to giving you an offer. Working on your internship project. You might have one project, you might have 2, or you might have 3. Most cases, you're going to have 1 or 2 internship projects. Making sure you're putting in the work, you are getting comfortable presenting. So there's not only the fact that you're going to have to create the project, whatever it might be, but you need to create a presentation, right? And so when you do that, you want to get feedback on your presentation slides. You want to get feedback on the layout, the design. All these small things are very important. You're not going to go to a client pitch, for example, with a pitch book that looks hideous. Design, it's like the storefront, it's the shop front, it's what you see is what you get. It sets the tone. First impressions are made on how you look, right? Within 3 seconds, people look at you. If you're dressed well, they make a positive assumption. They look at you and think, okay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. If you're dressed poorly, they're going to look at you and make a negative assumption. Similarly, pay attention or focus on these things in your work as well. The work that you do, the work that you send out, the pitch books that you work on, your presentation slide that you use, or your presentation slides that you use for your final project. They need to be nice, neat, presentable. Not over the top on colors and design and stuff, but just presentable and professional. So every time you're working on it, get your buddy or your mentor, sit down with them during your catch up and get them to check your current slide deck, get feedback. What can you change? How can you improve it? So keep on top of that. Also, you're probably going to have some group work to do with your fellow interns. Make sure you're attending those. HR, pay attention to that. Make sure you are participating and pulling your weight. You don't want to be seen as slacking, and you don't want to be the intern who just focuses on their desk work and forgets about everything else, or just focuses on your project and forgets about everything else. The test of the internship is to see if it's like you've got 10 different plates spinning. You can't let any drop, right? If you just focus on one, all 9 other plates are going to drop. So you want to focus on all 10 of them. People need to see that you're able to multitask or manage different things, manage your time, and manage your relationships with people so you're not pissing everyone off effectively. And so if you do that successfully throughout the next 4 weeks, pretty much you're likely to get an offer. But it's a juggling act, and so it requires oftentimes long hours, going above and beyond. However, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Always remember that. So yeah, well done on getting this far. Keep doing you, keep smashing it, and I'm sure you're going to crush it and get your offer. Whether you like your team or not, actually, this is a good point. How's your experience going so far? If it's going great, good. If it's not going as planned, or if it's completely different to what you expected, let me know. Leave a comment below. Explain why that is and what's going wrong. Best thing to do would be, it's tricky because you don't want to talk to HR, because they're going to think you're not interested, and you don't want to not get an offer. Focus on trying to secure an offer, because it's always good to have an offer in the back pocket in case, when you go back to uni, nothing works out. So you at least have an offer, and so having something is better than having nothing, right? So if I put myself in your shoes, I wouldn't talk to anyone directly in my team. I would talk to my mentor who was in a different team, and I would say, look, this isn't what I expected. What can I do? And then oftentimes you might be able to kind of explore catching up with people who are in a different team, and an opportunity might, I know people who have interned in one team, they weren't feeling it, but they started catching up with people in another team. There was an opening in that team, and they ended up joining that team full time. So that can happen. It's rare though. But look, the most important thing is you want to have fun, you want to enjoy it. If I wasn't enjoying it, I'll still try and get an offer, because I'm there. There's nothing else I can do. Let me just get my offer. I can reject them later if I want to. And if I know downright, this isn't for me, I know 100% I'm going to apply to a different industry, then you can just, I don't know, I don't want to encourage anyone to slack, but then you can kind of tune out. If you know you're not gonna join the industry, just do your work, get your P's, and then bounce afterward. Simple. Now is the time for you to explore different industries and decide, you know, which ones are for you, which one isn't. You're going to be doing this throughout the first 5-10 years of your career. It's important to kind of identify what you want to do, what you don't want to do. There's no right or wrong answer. You're not going to know for sure which career path is right for you. Even when you enter the world of work, it takes a few years for you to kind of work full-time and then understand your strengths and then match them with your interests and decide, all right, this is what I want to do. So there's no right or wrong answer. Just try and put in as much effort as you can. You don't want to be seen as a slacker. Make your money, do your internship, and then see what happens afterwards. Anywho, I will see you next Sunday for another video on tips and advice, general chit chat based on your internship. But keep doing you, keep smashing it, and I'll see you then. Peace.